Hi there. Today about how to get rid of trauma for good. What is trauma? What is nature of trauma? Why am I talking about this? Because I'm that which does not attach to the thoughts, that lets the thoughts go through, pass through. And that offers a different view on trauma, among other things, among everything else. Why is that important? What is trauma? Trauma is a thought about the past event that causes a physical reaction. And all sorts of other feelings and emotions that rise out of it. All sorts of distressful states like pain, shame, humiliation, despair, and the like. So is it possible to have a thought about the past event that was very stressful, traumatic, and not engage with it, not react to it? It is possible. It's a skill to not attach. You learn that skill by practicing it. And once you practice enough, the mind does not attach anymore. It just lets the thoughts pass through. It doesn't matter what is the nature of the thought. What is the thought about the weather, that it's sunny or rainy? It's a state of mind that is sad or happy. A past event that was very violent and stressful. It doesn't matter. A thought is a thought. When a mind does not engage with the thoughts, does not identify with the thoughts, there is no distress. The thoughts pass through. The mind lets the thoughts pass through, including the thoughts about the traumatic past events. That's why the thoughts cannot cause any more distress. There is no identification with the thought. The thought is passing through, coming and going, just like that. Is it possible to not engage with the thoughts? Yes, it is. As I said, it is a skill that you learn. You practice it on a daily basis. Because a thought, what is a thought? Is there anything to it? Is there a substance to it? A thought is a mixture of mental concepts with a mental imagery, sounds even. But it's nothing we can grasp. It's empty. It's only mental concepts, words put together in different ways, and mental imagery that comes with it. If there is no thought, no engagement with the thought, there is no distressful reaction. No reaction to it at all. The thought, regardless of its content, is passing through. Whichever thought comes by, when you step into it, head on, straight into it, it disintegrates. There is nothing there. It's empty. Thoughts are empty mental concepts. Engagement with it, identification with it, with the thought, makes it real, makes you become that thought. At the moment when you engage with something, let's say a thought about the past event that was violent, traumatic, you engage with that thought, you identify with that thought, and you sort of feel the stress in your body. You feel all those stressful feelings and emotions, whatever else, that arise from identification with that thought. So stop, engaging with the thoughts. Stop identifying with the thoughts, regardless of the content. Practice. You practice with the breathing by focusing on the breathing and stepping straight into the thought. It is very important that you do not turn away from the thought. Then you do not run away from the thoughts. That you step into them, face them straight on. They disintegrate. They are empty. They are empty mental concepts. Of course, it takes practice. And you start by just practicing any thought that comes by. Step into it, it disintegrates, and so on and so on and so on. Like popping air balloons. One by one by one. There is nothing in them. Empty. And once you develop that skill, you're confident enough with that skill, then you go on to face anything. Any past event. Any thought about past event. When you're confident enough that you've mastered this skill, that you're comfortable with it, that you can step into the thoughts and disintegrate them, then you do the same with the thoughts about the past events that were traumatic. Exactly the same. Step into them, they disintegrate. No engagement with the thought. No identification with the thought, just like that. If there is any interest on your part to manage this skill, to stop identifying or engaging with the thoughts altogether, look up the videos about how to practice no thinking, getting away from surface thoughts, daily practice, and so on, and start learning the skill. And start applying it to traumatic thoughts too. Thoughts are not traumatic, but thoughts about past events that were traumatic. And break that cycle. Your whole life does not have to be a reaction to a traumatic event that happened in the past. You can break that cycle and stop spreading it. Thank you.